My fellow flames, I gotta be honest with you, I need to be 110% transparent with you when I say I don't think there's a character I regret summoning for more than Chisa. She was the biggest load of summon bait I think I have ever seen in Wuthering Waves. I don't think there's a character other than Camellya, but you guys know, guys that know me know I have a huge regret summoning for Camellya because I've never once used her since I summoned for her way back in 1.4. But except for her, I don't think there's a character I regret summoning for more than Chisa. I don't think there's a character I regret summoning for more. She has brought absolutely nothing to the stage of Wuthering Waves, other than the fact that her involvement within the story was actually pretty good. I actually liked her as a character, I liked her lore, I liked her characteristics, everything about her character and lore, I liked. Everything about her kit and what she brings, or more importantly, doesn't bring to the Wuthering Waves table, I despise, and I'm not the only one that thinks this. And now, I'm not going to go into reasons why. I don't need to go into the reasons why I think she's the biggest load of summon bait ever, because we have someone that's going to explain it for us. And you know what his name is? Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow flames, his name is called Mr. the Centontas. He is going to break down why Chisa is the biggest load of summon bait in Wuthering Waves. If you enjoy this reaction, if you enjoy this video, hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, Mr. the Centontas, please take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to give you some unfortunate news.
What news?
It appears that the rumors regarding Chisa's demise have been entirely true.
Oh?
Do you want to know why?
Yes.
It's because this unit is going to be the most useless unit in the game for another 40, 50 plus days. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten news about 3.0 and the new units Linné and Mornier. And one thing that's abundantly clear about these two characters' kits is that they have nothing at all to do with a single negative status.
Now that's the problem. That is the problem. And you know what else is the problem? One of the main teams I use in this game, one of my favorite and main teams I use in this game, are Zani teams. So more specifically, Zani, Phoebe, and Shorekeeper. I thought Chisa was going to be the next Shorekeeper for Zani. I thought I was going to be able to replace Chisa for Phoebe or Shorekeeper with Chisa. But turns out no, because you know what's important about Zani's kit specifically? When she goes into her Super Saiyan form, she converts Spectrofrazzle into another debuff effect, into another negative status called Heliolic Embers, the Heliolic Ember state. And do you know what that does? That applies a debuff to the enemy, which enables Zani to absolutely destroy the enemy. Now, Chisa's ability, her outro ability to cause the next character to ignore defense by a certain amount is good. I love that. I think it's great. The problem is her weapon doesn't work properly because it doesn't consider Zani's negative status, which is the Heliolic Embers, as a negative status because it isn't a elemental negative status effect. It really annoyed me because I was summoning for Chisa because that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought we were going to have a character that's going to buff Zani, so Zani can move out of her Spectro only, her Spectro mono team. It means Chisa can buff Zani and buff her by a good amount. I might be able to actually get out of the Spectro trap, but no, because Chisa has laid another trap being, look at me, I'm going to enhance all negative status effects. No, you don't. You baited us. You baited me. Continue, please.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, these two units had no words at all shared about them regarding Frazzle, Fusion Burst, none of that. And it's pretty much confirmed by now they're not going to have anything to do with that in the game when they release in 3.0. And so what that means is that Chisa, the character that was released in version 2.8, will have only one team in the game for the next 50 plus days. Chisa, Chakona, and Kartithia. And
I mean, both of these characters are getting a rerun in the first phase of 3.0. So if you don't have either of these characters, I recommend you summon for these two characters if you are a Chisa main.
The caveat of this team is that your Chisa needs to have her signature weapon.
Oh.
Otherwise, she is worse in this team than Arrow Rover. So this character without her signature is a downgrade on every single team in the game. She makes every single team worse without her signature. With her signature, she makes one team better than the previous free-to-play option. And you want to know how much better she is than Arrow Rover?
I bet it's going to be like an abysmally small amount. I bet it's going to be an amount that is minute, right? Is it going to be a small amount?
It's like 4%.
Fuck my life. Please, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? Yo, Chisa's the biggest waste of summons I've ever seen.
Better in team-wide damage calcs. You gotta pull a character, pull their weapon, and they're 5% better than the free-to-play option in one team and a downgrade for every other team. That was the state of Chisa when she released at the start of 2.8. And that will be the state of Chisa for all of 3.0.
And there's the... Someone told me to react to this. Someone that watched my review recently on the 2.8 story said to react to this. And this is already after they kind of knew that I regretted summoning for Chisa. They said react to this, and they did say Saint was going to crash out. I didn't realize by how much though.
That will be the state of this character for all of the entirety of version 3.0. She's an upgrade on one team with her signature, an investment of 200 plus pulls to be 4% better than the free-to-play option, and she's gonna be like this for another 50 fucking days.
My man's crashing out. I gotta sort the cat out. He's crashing out. He really... I didn't... Of all the people, I didn't think he'd crash out this much. I didn't think Zentontas, the ex-champion of the world Kurobot, the man that advocated this game was the best thing since sliced bread. The man that said this thing is the thing that's going to cure world hunger. The man that said that Wuthering Waves is going to bring world peace. I didn't think he'd ever crash out this much. He's usually a composed person. Not a crash out king. Continue.
This is the worst unit in the game.
Oh.
Anybody that pulled this unit literally has just given an interest-free loan to Kuro Games.
I know.
How much they spend
I know.
because she doesn't do anything.
I know.
And she will not do anything.
He's rubbing salt in the wound. I am so angry that the reason why I summoned for this character was a lie. It was a straight up lie. It was a lie. I'm laughing, but I'm so hurt inside. I lost my 50-50. And then also went to go for her weapon. We got her weapon early, but I don't care because we went to hard pity a second time because we lost the 50-50. Because of this character that I despise, not because of who she is in the story, but because of her playability, because of her versatility, which is none by the way, because of her flexibility, which is none by the way, because of what she can do for many teams, which she can't by the way, because of the lie she told me about negative status effects. They didn't make it specific. They didn't say elemental status effects. They said negative status effects. Which technically, Zani's passive ability is a negative status effect. But it's fine, right?
For the entire 3.0 fucking patch. And the only hope this character has is that 3.1 is entirely filled with negative status units.
Because technically, right, even if one of the 3.1 units, if they release two units for 3.1, and one of them is a negative status applier, technically Chisa's usage goes up, yes, but probably by only 10%. Because, like, unless they're a main DPS that applies negative status effects, what else? Who would you have? Like, I guess you could have Chisa as like your second slot. You'd have Shorekeeper as your third slot. But that's it, really, isn't it? That's really it.
How insane is that for a unit? who cost you 200 plus pulls
Ugh.
for their kit and the characters surrounding the release to be scheduled so fucking badly that you pull her and she's only used on one team for over 70 days.
He really is rubbing salt in the wound.
And she's a downgrade. Worse than Verena, Shorekeeper, any other option. Probably worse than Baiju in some of
Oh, you don't bring Baiju into this.
the teams.
That's crazy. That's a crazy take.
And you want to know what the goofiest fucking thing is?
What you mean?
Chakona and Kartithia are rerunning in 3.0.
Yeah.
The funniest thing
I
is
said
that
that.
if you already have them, then like, this unit is so useless. They're only giving you the reruns for Kartithia and Chakona. But if you already have them, this character has just been sitting here not doing anything. And the funniest part is that she's only going to continue breaking accounts into the future. Because I released this video over here. Is Chisa the next short?
Whoa. Self-promo. Self-promo. I'm joking.
It would have been if 3.0 had negative status units. But right now, her value has literally cliff dove. And it's negative. She makes your account worse by pulling her. And then I released this video of her being a new player trap. Do you want to know why she's going to be an even worse new player trap now?
I mean, I'm not a new player, so it doesn't apply to me, but it may apply to one of you guys.
Because there are probably some people that pulled her during 2.8, and now they're going to be like, shit, I saved up, I'm going to pull Chakona and Kartithia now. Unfortunately, these are two of the most hard-locked characters in the game. Kartithia works on no other team.
That's the thing, right? Kartithia works on no other team other than Aero Erosion teams, right? She doesn't work on anything else other than Aero Rover or Chiakona and Shorekeeper, right? But she's very fun to use. She's a main DPS, and the best thing is people will forgive it because she's a main DPS, and also the fact that she was the main character near enough, like the main vocal point of the entirety of the 2.x story. But also at the same time is that when she released, she was one of the most busted DPSs of all time, especially if you had her weapon, especially if you had her from her S2, I believe. She was absolutely disgusting. I think her S3 just made her like one of, if not the top 3 best DPSs in the entire game. But like, yeah, she only really works in like 1 or 2 teams. And both of those teams need to involve Chiakona. Or if you haven't got Chiakona, then Aero Rover. But Shorekeeper's needed as well.
She's extremely restrictive in the lineups that she can use. Unlike other 3.0 units. Because if you pulled Chisa, you now have immense pressure as a new player to pull Chakona and Kartithia, and you might not get this unit, who literally is 2 characters for the price of 1.
That is true. She is 2 characters. For those that don't know, Lene has 2 different fighting styles. So technically, if she's a sub DPS, you could make her into a main DPS, or she could be a DPS into a support. She has 2 different combat styles that you can unlock. And there's loads of different other Sonata effects, which also make her insanely good. And this is just Lene. We don't really know much, too much about Monnier, but I can imagine she's going to be just as good and reliable as Lene. And both of these 3.0 characters are going to be busted by the looks of things and what we saw in the live stream.
She's a sub DPS that buffs the entire Toon Break archetype. And then she's also a main DPS.
Oh, just confirmed it. He just confirmed it for me. Yeah, she's a sub DPS and she's a main DPS.
Too. And she's got 2 unique Sonata sets that lets her fill both roles on your roster. You are being disincentivized from pulling this unit, who's 2 fucking units in 1. A BOGO 5-star unit, because you pulled Chisa and now feel the need to actually make her useful by pulling Chakona and Kartithia. Because guess what? If you're a new player that pulled this piece of shit in 2.8...
Oh, he really did. He's gone. He went crazy. He's really not happy. He's really not happy. This man could summon for anything he wants. This doesn't affect this man at all. But he's angry for the community. He's angry for the Chisa summoners. He's just angry about this unit. I'm angry too, to be fair, but this guy is he's topped me.
They're actually just a straight downgrade. And 3.0 is the only opportunity you have to build their team. But if you build their team, you're not building this fucking one. And I'm going to be real here. I think this unit is going to be one of the most valuable units in the history of the game.
How many times has Sentontas said the history of the game, or the history of Wuthering Waves, or in gacha gaming? Those like his three main things, right? In the is the worst character in the history of Wuthering Waves. Ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. This might be the best character in the history of Wuthering Waves. You know?
Read this fucking Sonata set, bro. Casting outro skill increases the incoming resonator's attack and grants additional attack based on their tune break boost.
You know what's crazy? This is going to buff Jinshi. This is going to buff characters like Jinshi. It's also going to buff characters. This is going to buff Zani more than Chisa.
Doesn't this just seem like it's going to work? Linnae is going to be a sub DPS that works for a fuck ton of different characters?
Yeah. It's great.
If she has a buff like this. I don't know. This sounds really general to me. So you got one of the most general sub DPSs, or looks like they're going to be one of the most general. They have a main DPS mode too. So if you're a new player, you don't have to make a sub DPS without a main DPS work.
You got the best of both worlds.
That sub DPS can just be the main DPS, and you're incentivized not to pull what looks to be one of the most valuable unit in the history of the game if you pulled this unit in 2.8. Do you see?
It's so depressing. It is so depressing, right? Also, I like how he's Googled and he's YouTube searched gacha smack. Yeah, it is really incredibly depressing. It really does make me sad. It makes me so immensely sad.
Now, how absolutely fucking cooked her potential is right now.
Scissors at the ready.
I don't really understand why they scheduled her in such a way. Because good golly gee, it really just seems like her release is gonna screw over so many accounts.
I think it already has, to be honest.
And actually delay endgame progression by months for some really unlucky individuals. I just hope that if you're somebody that pulled Chisa and you don't have tools to make her work, you understand that there's probably a way better chance of you enjoying your account more and the tools that you have more by low-key just abandoning Chisa.
It's been done. I've done it. It happened. I did it. I summoned, I tested, I tried, I was done. I gave up. She's benched, never to be used again. Unless I will dust off Chisa, that unit. I will dust off that 5-star if in 3.1 or 3.2 or 3. Never, by the sounds of it, releases a new negative status effect character that's going to really be beneficial to bring Chisa out of the darkness, to bring Chisa out of storage, to say, hey, you're needed. You do have value. You do now have value. We need you. Dust off. Dust off. When you're needed. You're required to buff this character. Maybe. You know? But there's never going to be a character like Shorekeeper again, man. There's never ever going to be a character that's going to benefit DPSs and main and sub DPSs more than Shorekeeper for a good hot minute. A good hot minute. She's been the dominant force. She's been the #1 dominant force for near enough the entirety of the game's lifespan, and she's going to continue to be the #1 dominant force going forward. And I don't mean damage, I'm talking about she just buffs, she makes your damage dealers even more of a damage dealer. You know? So, Linnae's going to be a main DPS. Mornier's probably going to also have 2 different styles of gameplay. All we know, she could be a main DPS that could also be a supporting unit. We know she parries. We know she heals. She deals a lot of damage by the looks of things. So she's just going to be an all-rounder character, which means, oh, would you look at that? Shorekeeper's needed again for both of these characters. Do you know who's not needed? Chisa. Chisa.
I'm going to be honest. The sunk cost fallacy, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh.
The sunk cost fallacy of no return also applies. It could just be better if you already pulled her to just let her go and pull somebody else in 3.
If you love something, let her go. If you love the character, let her go. If you don't like the character, let her go. If you're someone that like me that thought that you got gaslit to someone for the character, only to find out she actually gives you nothing, let her go. Just let her go.
3.0. Don't pull Cartithia. Don't pull Chakona. Just let her go. Because you want to know who else is rerunning in 3.0? Augusta and Yuno.
And you know what's amazing about Augusta and Yuno? I'll let him explain.
And I'm gonna be honest, these two units have such a guaranteed amount of power, success in a variety of different roles for Yuno, and one of the best free-to-play teams in the game with her. All of these characters, Lene, Yuno, Augusta, they're gonna be so much higher value than these two. It's unreal.
That is crazy, right? Imagine like, you know, that is crazy, right? To be fair, when Yuno and when Augusta released in 2.6, I'm not going to lie to you. Them two together were created a black hole of damage. It was like a butterfly effect. If you have those two characters together, oh my god. If you have both of those two with their weapons, if you're going to skip the new 3.0 units, you need to go for Augusta and Yuno. Because it's just, if you have a guaranteed 5-star and you're looking at Lene and if you're looking at Mornier going, I don't like these characters, but I want new characters, and you don't have Augusta and Yuno, summon for Augusta and Yuno. Even without their weapons, they're so good. There's new weapons, guys. There's even more new weapons. We've got new 5-stars coming to the standard banner summons. We've got new battle pass characters, which is liberation damage bonus, which is crit damage bonuses. You're fine. You're fine.
And skipping, you know, Augusta or Lene for Chakona Cartithia is actually breaking your account. I'm just gonna be honest. Skipping either of those 3 units to pull on some of the most restrictive lineups in the game, why would you do that as a newer player?
Because Cartithia and Chakona are so pretty, and I love the way they look, and I like the fact that one of them is white and green. I like the other one is blonde hair, blue eyes, has a crown, and also transforms into Super Mommy character. That's like 7 foot tall. That's why I want to summon for them. Because I love the way they look. But then you got the Giga Chaz and go, no, I want the combat muscle mummy Augusta to beat the living hell out of the enemies.
We'll play tomorrow.
I don't think anyone can disagree with me when I say these two are so much more valuable than these two.
Yeah, and they're European. And they're European. And they're and you know, and they're European. I mean, to be fair, they're all European because every single character, I think, other than Augusta, sounds like they're from England. Big up.
And then you add the BOGO 5-star unit Lene into the mix, who fills 2 roles on her teams. Good lord, bro. Just be careful. Be wise.
Yeah.
With your Radiant Tides. Be wise with your Asterite. Be wise with your exploration rewards. Because I'm telling you right now, this unit is going to make you do some dumb fucking things if you really are trying to make her work.
And that's the bottom line. I'm going to close it off there because I don't think I need to continue watching this video. I think he's got the point across. I think we can all say that that Chisa is a big waste of time unless you have a weapon, unless you have built her to the... If you've invested that many hours into her, if you've invested that much time into her, and you have Chakona and Cartithia, fine. But my god, for the majority of us, she's doggy doo-doo. And again, I like her as a character. I like her lore. But I seriously regret summoning for Chisa. Seriously. She is the biggest load of horse shit in terms of synergy, in terms of compatibility, in terms of team composition. And I got gaslit into thinking she was going to be the perfect teammate for Zani. Defense ignore. Elemental damage boost. Boosting the Heliolic Embers lies. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll speak to you all in the next one. Take it easy and have a good rest of your day.